It wasn't supposed to happen like this. The script was already written. The AGA Team Tailor-Made Invitational. The story everyone expected was simple. Miles Russell, the #1 junior in the nation, would show up, dominate, and add yet another trophy to his growing dynasty. The spotlight was his. The cameras were his. Everyone else was just background noise, and somewhere deep in that background, ranked 604th in the world, stood a name people knew. But a player they didn't fear, Charlie Woods. Yes, that Charlie Woods, the son of Tiger, the kid everyone recognized from the PNC championships, the one who swung like his father, smiled like his father, but hadn't yet won like his father. N01 was expecting fireworks, maybe a solid top 20 finish, a few viral clips, a polite round of applause. But to win, to dethrone the top junior in the country, that wasn't in the script. Until it was. Because what unfolded over 3 days at Streamsong Resort didn't just rewrite expectations, detonated them. This wasn't a lucky bounce or a weekend hot streak. The IT was a masterclass. They controlled storm, got a 15-year-old walking into one of the strongest AGA fields of the year and dismantling it piece by piece. When the final putt dropped, the scoreboard told the story no one saw coming. Charlie Woods, 15 under par, .7 strokes clear of Miles Russell at a final round 66 that left fans, coaches, and competitors frozen in disbelief. This wasn't a kid chasing validation anymore. This was a player making a statement that in the hours that followed, the shockwave spread fast. Social media ignited. Analysts scrambled to explain it. How does a teenager ranked outside the top 600 march into a field stacked with elite recruits, national champions, and future stars, and leave as the last one standing? Was it a fluke, a flash of form? Or was this the first real sign that golf's next great shift has already begun? Because if Charlie Woods can do this at 16, against the very best of his age group, the only real question now is, what happens next? One win doesn't make a career, but it can ignite one. And tonight, every eye in junior golf is locked on the same realization. Charlie Woods might have just flipped the future of the sport on its head. Before Streamsong, Charlie wasn't a headline. He was a question mark. Fans knew the name. They'd seen the swing. They'd watched him stride beside his father at the PNC championship, mirroring Tiger's movements like a living echo. But those were cameos, not campaigns, glimpses of potential, not proof. 5 AGA starts, 1 top, 25 finish, respectable, but hardly revolutionary. Meanwhile, Miles Russell, world #1, serial champion, the standard everyone else chased, looked untouchable. If anyone was supposed to dominate Streamsong, it was him. The field was stacked, the expectations clear. Charlie Woods wasn't there to win. He was there to watch, to learn, to gain experience at least. That's what everyone thought, because while the spotlight stayed fixed on others, Charlie was working in the shadows, grinding, studying, sharpening. Every missed cut, every long round, every quiet practice session had been building something unseen. Not hype, but hunger. Not flash, but focus. By the time he teed it up at Streamsong, that quiet evolution was ready to roar. He didn't arrive chasing attention. He arrived carrying intent. And for the first time, the gap between potential and performance vanished. Every swing was tighter, every decision deliberate. While others fought nerves and numbers, Charlie played like someone with nothing to lose and everything to prove. The IT wasn't loud. It wasn't showy. That IT was lethal. This was the making of a silent hunter, not born from one viral moment, but from a slow burn. The rise of a player who stopped being someone's son and started becoming someone to fear. Charlie Woods may have entered Streamsong as an outsider. He left as a problem. Won the top of junior golf, now has no choice but to solve. By the time he stepped onto the first tee for the final round, the air was thick with tension. He was within striking distance, yes, but few truly believed he could finish ahead of the #1 junior in the country. Not until he did. What followed wasn't a miracle. It was a dismantling. Charlie Woods fired a 6 under 66, 8 birdies, 0 hesitation. The front 9? A warning. The back 9? A takeover, shot after shot, hole after hole. The leaderboard didn't just display his name, it belonged to him. When the dust settled, the numbers were undeniable. .15 under par, .7 shots clear of Miles Russell. Reuters called it a statement. NBC Sports called it the strongest AGA field of the year. Golf Digest called it a historic leap. But the stats only told half the story. What truly shook the golf world was how he did it with composure beyond his years, with a steadiness that made older players blink first, and with a calm that felt almost unnatural under pressure. While others tightened their grip, Charlie slowed his breathing. While the favorites scrambled to hold on, he pulled away, methodically, relentlessly. This wasn't just a win.it was a warning. It wasn't just a win.it was a warning to every coach, every scout, every opponent watching from the sidelines. This, right here, is what happens when raw talent meets readiness. The name Woods has always carried weight, but after Streamsong, that weight shifted. That it's no longer just because of Tiger. Charlie didn't rise to the moment. He owned it. And in doing so, he may have changed everything. Streamsong Resort doesn't hand out low scores. .it demands them. It's the kind of course that punishes hesitation, where one misread line, one over-aggressive swing, can destroy a round before it even begins. And yet, Charlie walked it like he'd been there 100 times before, and no panic. No flash. Just precision. Each drive found its mark. ACH iron struck with authority. Each putt rolled like it already knew its destination. It wasn't luck. It was learned. It wasn't hype. It was habit. For years, people had wondered if he had it. After Streamsong, that question was answered. Not in words, not in interviews, but in birdies. 0.8 of them, under pressure, against the best. The gallery knew it. The players felt it. Even the cameras, for once, didn't need commentary. The scoreboard said enough. Charlie Woods had arrived, not as Tiger's son, but as golf's next problem. And yet, in a final round loaded with pressure and stacked with elite competition, Charlie Woods made it look manageable, not by overpowering the course, not by showing off, but by thinking through every shot like a veteran twice his age. There were no reckless heroics, no unnecessary risks, just a 16-year-old methodically dissecting a championship layout with strategy, patience, and poise. He didn't just avoid mistakes, but he anticipated them. While others chased highlights, Charlie chased efficiency, par when it mattered, birdie when it counted. Every decision looked calculated, grounded in something beyond talent, something practiced, because this wasn't just a physical performance. It was mental. A masterclass in composure, knowing when to push, when to pull back, when to let the game come to you. According to the New York Post, Tiger himself said, Charlie is forging his own path. And that path isn't about flair. It's about clarity, confidence, control. Knowing exactly what you're doing before you even step up to the ball. So the question becomes, is this raw talent? Or have we been watching the product of years of elite mental training unfold in real time? Charlie didn't win this tournament with swagger. He won it with silence, letting his game do the talking, letting his discipline do the damage. It wasn't the loudest performance of the year, but it might have been the smartest. And for those trying to chase him down, that's the unsettling part, because anyone can catch fire. But thinking your way to the top, that's a different level of dangerous. For years, Charlie Woods lived in the glow of a name that reshaped golf history. But what happens when that glow stops reflecting and starts shining on its own? That's what Streamsong gave us. A glimpse of the shift, at a moment when the next generation stopped waiting and started taking over. Charlie isn't just Tiger's son anymore. He's the storm that no one saw coming. And now, everyone else is scrambling to keep up. If this is the baseline, golf's youth leaderboard just experienced a seismic shift. He didn't win a fluke tournament. He outplayed the best at one of the AJGA's toughest stops. So, what comes next? College recruiters are already watching. Tour exemptions might not be far off. And with that composure, that control, and that last name that still echoes through every fairway, is it too early to talk about a pro path? Maybe. But some moments are louder than others. Some wins don't just make headlines. They change the tone. This wasn't about Tiger. This was Charlie's round. Charlie's tournament. Charlie's warning shot to the golf world. So, now we're all asking the same thing. Is this the start of Woods' Legacy 2.0? Or are we just witnessing the beginning of something bigger? Either way, the spotlight's no longer borrowed, it's earned. And the storm has officially arrived.